Good evening and welcome to the Calling All Creeps podcast. My name is Bryce.
And I'm Nathan.
And Nathan, what are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, tonight I have an especially wide and especially whimsical smile stretching across my cheeks because we're talking about one of my all-time favorite things in all the wide world of all things spooky, and that is the series known as Over the Garden Wall. From Cartoon Network, or from the mind of Patrick McHale, you could say, the creator who we'll talk about a little bit. A wonderful, whimsical, funny, hilarious, beautifully drawn, beautifully animated, beautifully scored miniseries of 10 episodes. Bryce, what is your history with Over the Garden Wall?
I'm not sure. I wish I'd watched it when it had come out in 2014, but it was probably a few years later that I had watched it. But I do watch it at least once every year, if not a few times. It's hard to say how much this show means to me. It's so amazing. Every detail, every thought into it is so well put together. Yeah, this might be the best well put together television show I've ever seen.
Even more than Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, no, I love Scooby-Doo, but I don't think Scooby-Doo has the depth Over the Garden Wall has. This is up there with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, level of intricacy and detail into every piece of the setting, every piece of music. Every detail is perfectly put together.
You took a step forward when you said more depth than Scooby-Doo, and then you took a step right back when you said Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That sounds like someone who's never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I may have perused a few episodes here and there. It was fun.
You gotta watch the whole thing. Every detail in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, from their outfits to the lighting to, all the small things in the background. That's all chock full of meaning. Everything in there is perfectly put in place. The same way this show is. Nothing's there by happenstance. Everything is there with a purpose.
All right, well, maybe one of these days I could give Buffy another try, but not tonight.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely do an episode on Buffy.
Well, anyway, tonight we're going to talk about Over the Freaking Garden Wall, which came out in 2014.
Yeah, before we do that, Nathan, how have you been doing?
How have I been doing?
Yeah.
For the past week, I've been just feverishly writing and recording songs, mostly for one of our October Society projects, music project called Witchbones. So that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you've been working your ass off on that.
Yeah, I was hoping to accomplish more yesterday. There's just not enough hours in a day, man, because I finally got done with work. And then I came home and I just had to finally finish editing the Scooby-Doo episode. So I sat down and did that. I blink, it's 9 p.m. Fuck. I made an attempt at polishing off Brain Rot and failed, so that was kind of a waste of time. And then today, I worked until straight up 4 or 5 p.m., 4:35 p.m. Came home, had just enough time to do my Over the Garden Wall notes, which I had not had time to do yet. So I've been a busy boy. But yeah, dude, lots of writing and recording. Just a fuck of a lot of that.
Do anything spooky this last week?
I don't think so. Are you fishing for a specific thing? What spooky thing was I supposed to have done?
I don't know. You're working on this cool project.
It is sort of spooky. Well, you came to me with the idea of doing this Witchbones project, and I didn't really grasp the concept at first, and then you sent me your demos, and when you first sent me your demos, it didn't sink into me how good the songs were. When I first put them on, I was like, okay, because it was just your voice and a bass and some garage band drum loops, and I was listening to them through one earbud at work, and I was like, okay, well, can't wait to hear you flesh them out, and you're like, what do you mean flesh them out? And I'm wait, there's more, right? And he's like, yeah, but you're supposed to do it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wanted to do. We haven't done something together in years.
That's true. This is the happy ending, because the last time we were in a band, we only made one EP that wasn't even good. So
I think it's good.
It's okay. This album is good.
Yeah, it's turning out a lot better than I imagined. So stay tuned for that Witchbones album coming out soon, probably. You may even get to hear some of it at the end of one of these podcast episodes soon.
Yeah, I was gonna maybe put one of those songs at the end of this episode. Yeah, dude, that's what I've been doing with my week. What have you been doing with your week? Just kidding, I know what you've been doing with your week. You've been not sleeping, probably at all, and being a dad.
Yeah, no, I've probably been up till at least like 2, 3 a.m. every night. It is nice to have some time off work, which has been great. Just staying home, being a dad to the 2 kiddos. But yeah, it's busy, but it's good. I enjoy all of it. And today, yeah, we sat down and read some Halloween books today. We've been watching some Real Monsters and reread like 4 or 5 Halloween books today. Got my ghost shirt on. We're keeping it spooky here, man.
I like how you refer to children as kiddo like you're a 68-year-old truck driver. Well, shit, brusky.
But yeah, so what are you drinking tonight?
Right now I'm drinking some fucking coffee and some Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
What kind of coffee do you drink?
I just go to the store and get the kind that says calf, and I drink it black.
Calf?
Definitely. Otherwise, what's the point of coffee otherwise?
I drink Folgers, man, but I've been putting like peanut butter powder in it recently. Man, it's really good.
Bryce, you have the culinary habits of a 10-year-old. We need to help you out a little bit with that.
All right, well, go ahead and take us into the journey into the unknown, Nathan.
So this show was created by one Patrick McHale, who made his bones as a storyboard artist and writer for the show Flapjack. Let's just briefly mention Flapjack a little bit. I remember that show from childhood very distinctly, as a lot of people do around our age, because the show was just so incredibly bizarre and at times creepy as hell and just kind of fascinating in like a watching a car wreck kind of way. How do you feel about Flapjack, Bryce?
I love Flapjack. It's super unique. Yeah, it's really fun. The animation is super unique. I like how old timey it feels, and it's super funny. Yeah, and it's definitely got like a really fun dark side to it as well. This show has like nothing to do with you in my life, but I don't know why. Ever since I've met you though, I think of Flapjack, I immediately think of you. I think you guys give off the same energy.
Don't drink out of the ocean, Knuckles! Seawater makes you crazy! Look at me! I've been drinking it for hours!
Well, okay. I'm gonna take that the best way possible. Flapjack is a very whimsical boy.
Oh no, it's a compliment.
I've always identified more with the 38-year-old man child.
You win! You need to grow up!
Grow up? I'm 38 years old!
You know that scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically me. I identify very much with him as a character. But no, Flapjack is cool as hell. And like Over the Garden Wall, it has this, like, sort of slightly creepy turn-of-the-century handlebar mustache barbershop quartet times aesthetic about it. The next notable thing that Patrick McHale did after working on that show was to help his buddy Pendleton Ward develop the show Adventure Time, a show that I've never watched, but everybody seems to love the shit out of it.
Come on, bro, taking pain is easy. You just have to imagine that every bruise is a hickey from the universe, and everyone wants to get with the universe.
He wasn't super involved in the main run of the series, but he did work on some of it here and there. He did some freelance work, contributing songs and whatnot. Patrick McHale is an interesting guy. I've watched interviews of him, and if you look at pictures of the guy and you look at footage of him, he is literally Wirt from Over the Garden Wall.
Oh really? I've never seen him.
Oh yeah, I think it's very clearly Wirt is modeled after him. I think that is safe to say, both in terms of appearance and personality. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but on YouTube there's a video of Patrick McHale accepting the Emmy Award that Over the Garden Wall won back in like 2014, I'm pretty sure. And he goes up and he gives the speech, and it's like he's really nervous and awkward about it. And he's sort of like, oh, well, shucks, this is awfully cool. I want to thank my mom, and oh, sorry, I guess I'm kind of shaking.
Thanks, everybody. My voice is cracking. I'm shaking, I guess. Elijah Wood and Melanie and Colin and all the voice actors and everything. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
And then like halfway through his acceptance speech, they play him off the stage. They start blasting the SpongeBob SquarePants theme, and he sort of awkwardly shuffles off the stage.
Oof.
Yeah, it's gruesome. What's funny about that is he is literally just Wirt. That is such a Wirt moment. But anyway, this brings us to the characters we'll be talking about tonight. Before Over the Garden Wall, there was Tome of the Unknown, which is just a short little cartoon one-off thing that Patrick McHale made for Cartoon Network. It's a very cool short, beautifully demonstrates the look and concept of the show that was to come, and Cartoon Network must have liked it too, because before you know it, McHale had been enlisted to make an entire miniseries out of it. Now, Bryce, have you seen the original short?
Oh yeah, no, it's super fun. It's got that watermelon guy in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool stuff. It's almost like a sort of trial run of the show, and then the characters are already very much fully formed as they are in the final show. Very intriguing short. Yes, I'm not sure why Over the Garden Wall was just a mini-series and not a whole show, not a whole series, but honestly, I love the fact that it's short and sweet. Feels more like a movie if watched all at once. And the quality is obviously consistent throughout the whole run of episodes, because it's all part of one thing, so the quality control is completely consistent, and that's something that can become problematic on a lot of shows if the show goes on for too long.
Yeah, no, I like that, I wondered the same thing, like, based on the strength of the short that he did before the show, and the strength of the show itself, I think it would have been picked up to go on longer, but I wonder, like, the reason that it was just the miniseries, because he had one story and it took 10 episodes to get through and that was it. I think that's a good choice. You got a story to tell, you go in, tell it, you get out. I don't need these guys bumbling around forever doing whatever just to fill time and space in episodes. Like, every episode and every detail has purpose.
Yeah. And by the way, there is even a comic book series of Over the Garden Wall, written by Patrick McHale himself, no less. So yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. You can actually find some of those online too.
Have you read any of it?
Yeah, I read one of them. Have you?
No, I haven't. I should, though. I love the series so much. I'm sure that is it pretty good?
Yeah, it's basically the show. I mean, and it's written and drawn by the same guy, it seems. So definitely just feels like you're reading an episode of the show. It seems like something you would like.
Is it straight from the show, like an adaptation, or is it like what happens in between episodes?
It's just totally new adventures. It's not adapting the show or anything like that. Pretty cool stuff.
Sweet. Well, yeah, check that out for more adventures of Wirt and Greg.
Yeah, so our main characters are Wirt and Greg, as you say. Yeah, so I'm very much a Wirt guy. I relate to him a lot. Do you have a favorite character, Bryce? Do you have characters in this that speak to you in particular?
A favorite character in the whole show? Oh my goodness. Favorite character in the whole show. Probably have to go with Enoch.
Interesting.
What about you?
Well, like I say, probably Wirt. I do like Greg. I like the little brother. When I was a kid, I had a younger brother where the age difference was pretty similar to theirs. So I find this sort of younger brother, older brother dynamic relatable in that way. It's interesting to me how it's revealed later on in the show that Greg and Wirt are both actually modern children imagining that they're in this past time period, and maybe that's why, but they sort of act very modern. But everyone else in the world around them, the Over the Garden Wall world, don't behave like modern people. They behave like actual folk story people, 19th century people, that are convincingly not modern characters.
They're very whimsical.
It could be said, Bryce. It could be said. If you were some kind of nerd, you might put it that way. You know who else I really love is the school teacher. The schoolmaster, I guess.
Miss Langtree?
Yeah, Miss Langtree.
What's that? Young man, go to the dunce box.
I find her very funny. And she also is a great singer. And I guess it's a Blasting Company song that she sings, but she sings about, her ex-boyfriend seemingly running off on her. Of course, it turns out he was the gorilla the whole time, but beautiful voice on this lady.
But I don't know if that's a Blasting Company song. That's a Janet Klein song.
Oh, I thought Blasting Company did basically the whole soundtrack.
No, there's
or that in some capacity.
They do most of it, but there's other artists on the soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with the artist who did that song then?
Yeah. Once listening to this It's amazing soundtrack. I've gone on to find all the artists that are in there. They're all great. I mean, we could spend the whole episode talking about the soundtrack. It's phenomenal.
So the setting of the show is the main character, I think. What makes Over the Garden Wall feel like the show that it is that it has this extremely interesting, I don't know, what's the word? But immersion. It has really effective immersion into this fantasy world that is sort of a mixture of various time periods, from like the 18th century up until like turn of the 20th century. It's kind of a mishmash of different historical periods, and it's very cute, and the art style is very, very beautiful. You know, in interviews, Patrick McHale talks about how he has an interest in old artwork, and he's really into old music as well, and that those combined interests kind of birthed this show, more or less. I think it's a really successful execution of, you know, these kind of vintage, old school art styles sort of filtered through a more modern lens.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's definitely, like you said, very vintage style, very, makes you think of Betty Boop cartoons, but like, yeah, done with modern tools and through a modern lens, still in the art style of the times of 2014. But yeah, no, the art style is super great.
Betty Boop is an interesting way to put it. It didn't occur to me, but I can sort of see that. Yeah, there's like, you see that in Flapjack too. It seems like Patrick McHale's art style was very influential in both of these shows. And like his sense of humor too, which the humor in Over the Garden Wall is just extremely offbeat and just charmingly odd.
Yeah, they do a really good job of balancing it being very funny, very modern, kind of goofy kid cartoon funny, then also being incredibly deep and dark and somber and dealing with really big themes, you know. And then you just have Greg going around with a frog and singing about potatoes and molasses, and they just do a really good contrast of this incredibly dark show about death, and then it's just also over the top SpongeBob kind of silly.
Yeah, it's every time I rewatch this, I'm always surprised all over again at how dark it actually gets, because I think of it as being this very whimsical kind of lighthearted show that makes me feel good, but it does get quite heavy at times. It is doing that early 2000s weird humor, weird kids show thing, but it feels more mature at the same time. I've said this before to you, I think, but it seems to me like kids shows, kids cartoons, when I was an actual child, were not really up to this standard of quality. This is like an exceptionally good show. I feel like it's more mature and treating the audience with more respect than like a typical 2000s kids cartoon.
Yeah, like I said, they've really got a good story and a lot of good themes in there that do make this, like, at the same time being a super silly kids show, it's just also a very mature show at the same time. They do a really good job of blending that. The general idea of the story is, you know, Wirt and Greg fall into a river, and while they're in limbo, essentially, they experience this unknown, and they're walking through trying to find their way home, and they just get into all these crazy adventures on the way. They got the beast in the woods, and you have the woodsman, Adelaide trying to get children slaves out of them. You have the sillier things like the tea mansion and stuff in there, but overall, yeah, it's really, you know, it dealing with their adolescence and dealing with responsibility and dealing with making decisions and making choices and dealing with themes of, you know, brotherhood, as well as, you know, the whole thing is, again, about death and wandering through that.
I'm tempted to say, okay, well, first of all, you mentioned potatoes and molasses. I just want to ask real quick, have you ever actually tried potatoes and molasses?
No, I haven't. I'm pretty new. Maybe last year is the first time I've eaten potatoes.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not really into... I'm trying to eat vegetables, man. I actually just had mashed potatoes tonight. I don't like molasses. In general, I don't like molasses, but I guess I should just go buy a throwaway bottle of molasses to dump it on some potatoes.
No, I would say don't do that, because if you go to the store, because I did this too, actually. If you go to the store and just get some molasses and potatoes and put them in a bowl together, it's going to be gross. It's not good.
Have you done it?
I have done that, but I've also made actually really good potatoes and molasses from a recipe that my friend gave me. So I was talking about this show to my friend Meredith like a year ago or something, and she like texted me a recipe for potatoes and molasses, which is actually really fucking good. But it's like there's nuance to it. You have to know what you're doing and you have to use good ingredients, and there's like other stuff in it too. You kind of have to trick the potatoes and the molasses into thinking they belong together, even though they don't really. That's why it's called culinary arts, Bryce.
Heck yeah, okay, we'll have to send that recipe over to me, and maybe we can link it in the show notes too. And next time you're watching this, you can make some for yourself.
Yeah, I definitely highly recommend that you try that out. Requires just a little bit of preparation.
Oh boy, mealtime! This is way better than being chased by a gorilla.
But having said all that, I'm tempted to say, and I guess we can talk about maybe favorite episode between the two of us, but like, I'm tempted to say that the haunted mansion, crazy rich guy hallucinating ghosts episode might be my favorite.
Come, everyone! Let us retire to the parlor and enjoy my unnecessary excess of wealth and luxury.
Well, maybe he just has some loose change somewhere he wouldn't mind us taking.
Really, that might be your favorite. That might be my least favorite episode.
Really?
I love the episode, don't get me wrong, but I think compared to all the others, that's probably my least favorite episode.
Huh. The jokes really work for me. It makes me laugh probably the most.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, every episode of this is great. Is that why it's your favorite episode?
Yeah, I guess so. I like the crazy uncle character. I think he's delightful.
Oh, he's very delightful. The horse is super funny in that episode.
Yeah, I just want to steal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And of course, even though there aren't any actual ghosts in the episode, it probably only episode dealing with ghosts. Big sucker for ghosts in an episode.
So then what is your favorite episode? Do you have one?
Oh, I wish I was looking at a list of the episodes, but probably off the top of my head, probably the second episode, the Husking Bee, where they go to Pottsfield.
Oh, yeah. That one's hard to beat.
It is, they stumble into Pottsfield and they stumble into the Harvest Festival, and inside are all these supposedly people with pumpkins on their heads. And I love that they mistake them. The pumpkins are actually their heads, and they're like, no, we made these as masks. And they're like, oh, okay. And then after they interrupt the thing, Enoch comes out, and he's this giant pumpkin-headed guy. He's like, hey, it's just really intimidating feeling. And he's like, You've barged into our town and you've smashed our crops and you've interrupted our harvest festival. I'll have to punish you. And they're like, oh no. And then he, very, very funnily punishes them to a couple hours of manual labor where they end up thinking they're digging their own graves, but then they're actually digging up graves, and these skeletons pop out, and you find the whole town are skeletons, and they've put on pumpkin heads for this harvest festival. So I imagine Pottsfield is the afterlife. Since seeing this, it is the only afterlife I will take. That has to be it. When I die, I have to go to Pottsfield.
Now hold on, everybody. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Now let's see here, boys. How do you end up in this little town of ours?
I do very much want it to be a real place. The Pottsfield episode is a super highlight, and I was gonna save this for the music discussion, which we'll do here in a minute. But that song that they're singing in the barn, the pumpkin people, that shit goes unbelievably hard for no reason.
Yeah, which one is that? Is that "Patient is the Night"?
No, it's the Pottsfield song. It's the one with the kind of hurdy-gurdy sounding string instrument in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Heidi, for the golden neon is the maple set, a river to warm thy soul and to bind love to thy breast.
Such a good song. Again, like the way the Blasting Company writes the music for this series is incredible, and it's just again, I love that it's not. I hate watching some show and they just stick some incredibly modern stuff in there. They just really go back in time to like recreate these like really genuine and beautifully written songs that are so immersive into the series. Like, so good.
Much of the soundtrack for Over the Garden Wall is done by a group called the Blasting Company, which is like a hipster artsy-fartsy band, but in the best way possible. And that Pottsfield song is one of my favorite pieces. They also did the opening theme, which I think is just called Prelude, which is a piece on cello and violin. They do this sort of like old-fashioned folk and classical influenced stuff. They're kind of like the archetype of the 2010s hipster art band, with the emphasis on folk as filtered through this kind of affluent metropolitan lens played by a large quantity of members. But unlike the stomp, clap, hey sort of music that everyone has a hate boner for nowadays, these guys were actually fucking sick. They have other projects. They don't have a ton of releases, it seems like, but they do have some stuff. They have like an album. You can find live performances of them on YouTube and stuff. But a large part, I would say, and of course we're music guys. Me and Bryce are both music guys, so of course I would say this, but the music is like 50% of what makes the show special to me. It's a huge part of it.
It is. The soundtrack is just as important as every other detail of the show. Couldn't be there without this amazing soundtrack. But yeah, Patient is the Night is also plays in the second episode, Hard Times with Huskin-B, played by Chris Isaak. I like Chris Isaak a lot.
What's the song you really like that I said you should cover?
Oh, Old Black Train, yeah. Used to cover that back in the day. I'd love to do a recorded version of it. I'd love to cover this whole album, man.
Yeah.
I think it's got like 40 songs on it.
I've definitely thought about covering that Pottsfield song, which I could probably do. The vocal arrangement is pretty sophisticated. That wouldn't be super easy.
Yeah, you could do it, though.
I'd probably take a crack at it at some point. Yeah, man, just insane fucking soundtrack. But yeah, like you say, it's got a bunch of stuff on it. It's a really rich. It's way better than any children's show soundtrack has any business being.
Among the fields of straw and stover, clocked in till the work day's over. Time's a gentle stream, longer than it seems. Patient is the night.
As far as like the show's themes and things, it seems to focus a lot on childhood, the burden of being an older sibling, fear of the unknown. There seems to be a persistent theme of Wirt having to face his fears and usually falling short.
You gotta work through Wirt, worrying about his crush, his love interest, his like lack of self-worth, and the fact that he's got to deal with a step-parent and a step-brother, dealing with being an older brother and with being a role model, maturing and making decisions, jealousy in there. And then, yeah, the rest of the show is, they're in this in-between space. They mention a lot throughout it, like, that is not their time. I think they mentioned that in the Pottsfield episode as well. They got to get through this, and they got to learn, how to trust and how to make decisions and how to lead and where to go.
Yeah, it tries to address the trials and tribulations of growing up and being a child. And, as an older sibling, I appreciate that it has things to say about what it feels like to be an older sibling when you're a kid and the kind of pressure that you feel under those circumstances of needing to be a sort of mature, older figure, but you're also still a child at the same time. I think it does a pretty good job of portraying that.
Though I am lost, my wounded heart resides back home, in pieces strewn about the graveyard of my lost love. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like a boat upon a winding river, twisting towards an endless black sea. Further and further, drifting away from where I want to be, who I want to be.
Yeah, like I said, pretty sophisticated stuff for a kid's show, and it has respect for its audience.
Yeah, and it's a great Halloween show. The entire series, technically, all takes place in one night on Halloween night. It's a super cozy fall show. Towards the end, you get a little bit of that winter feel coming on. Encapsulates the feeling of autumn.
Yeah, well, it looks like it was released in early November 2014.
Yeah, that it all came out in November 2014.
Yeah, which I guess to me that's a little bit strange because I just think of it as being like, wouldn't you put this out in mid-October or something? But, I guess anywhere in autumn is fine. Now, apparently there was a 10th anniversary short that came out. Now, I have to say, unfortunately, I never got around to seeing the short. Have you seen that?
I'm not sure. Maybe at one point in time, I feel like I've seen everything on it, but 10th anniversary, so I guess that'd be a couple years ago. I may not have seen it. Have you listened to the Wirt's cassette tape?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, they have a separate music release that is Wirt's cassette that he's going to hand to Sarah in the show, and it's full of him doing clarinet and poetry. It's really fun and awkward.
That's cool that they actually made that. That's neat. I should check. Is it on like Spotify or something? Or do I look for it on YouTube?
I think I probably listened to it on YouTube.
Listen to the shimmering thoughts of one small star, of one wandering star, falling slowly towards the light.
Wow, that's cool. That's world building for you. They really had all their bases covered. Between you and me, Bryce, which one of us do you think is Wirt and which one of us is Greg? Now, personally, I like to think of myself as a cool leading man, so you could say that I'm a Wirt. You never know.
If one of us has to be Wirt or Greg, so I can see us both as Wirt, but I guess if I'm going to pick, you would be Wirt and I would be Greg.
Honestly, that's fair.
Yeah, I think I've got a little bit more silly carefreeness about me sometimes.
I would agree with that. The whimsy in your heart has not been dampened like it has in mine. But you know, I do try sometimes. That's what this show is all about. Oh, it's interesting. I was going to say, too, like you, I was not a child when this came out, and I didn't watch it when it first came out. I didn't see this show until, like, 2 years ago. So, like the Halloween-y thing, I come to it as an adult instead of a child. So I never had Over the Garden Wall as part of my tastes in TV shows as an actual child.
Yeah, I mean, you were out of high school, and I was probably like a month away from being out of high school.
We're getting up there, man. Time it does tend to fly, doesn't it, Brycey boy?
Ooh, don't remind me, yeah.
So, I think it's safe to say, we're both massive fans of Over the Garden Wall. Now, in terms of disembodied human skulls, as tempted as I am to give this a 10 out of 10, I try to be studiously impartial on this podcast, as much as I can, so I'm gonna give it a very measured 9 out of 10 disembodied human skulls.
Yeah, I definitely have to give this a 10 out of 10 disembodied human skulls. This might be the most perfectly crafted show I've ever seen. Just about every detail is 100% up my alley. The Greg humor misses me a little bit sometimes, but outside of that, no, it's just dark, it's funny, it's got everything you want in it, man. It's got a beast, it's got the woods, it's got a cemetery. Such an incredible show, such an incredible soundtrack. I said I'm personally a huge fan of older music, so all the music fits right up my alley.
Tim Curry's in this, too, as Auntie Whispers.
Really? Tim Curry's Auntie Whispers?
Yes, it's funny, right?
Well, that's fucking awesome. Man, he's in a lot of really cool stuff.
He keeps popping up.
Christopher Lloyd plays the woodsman.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah, it's like the cast all around is just excellent. All of the voice acting in this is just super good. Again, above and beyond what a kid's show has to be.
Yeah, but it really works because sometimes you stick too famous of people into voice acting roles, and it really throws it off because you're just imagining very famous actor the whole time. This does a really good job of sticking these really famous characters in there, but not taking away from the character, not taking away from the show. I don't feel like I'm listening to that guy. I don't feel like I'm listening to Frodo, when I'm listening to Elijah Wood play Wirt. I don't feel like I'm watching Back to the Future when I'm listening to the Woodsman, And sometimes shows do that. They stick someone in there, and you can't escape the voice, and like makes you think of the person. Yeah, sometimes it takes away when you stick someone really famous into a voice acting role, but this does not do that anywhere for me. Honestly, if I didn't watch the credits or read about it, I wouldn't have known any of these people were in it.
Yeah, it's Elijah Wood. It's the fact that I can't see his face probably helps, but yeah, I'm not thinking about freaking Frodo Baggins when I watch this TV show. Thank God. He's a very good actor, I think. Also, I've just never been a big Lord of the Rings fan, so it's just not on my mind very much that he's in this.
Loser.
Oh, you're big into Lord of the Rings?
A big Tolkien fan.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that you were into that stuff. That's interesting.
Big fantasy fan in general. Yes, look at some of these artists on the soundtrack. You got Jack Jones doing Into the Unknown. You a Jack Jones fan?
To be honest, I am unfamiliar with most things. I don't really know any of the artists on here apart from the Blasting Company. But, I'd be interested in checking out more of them.
You never heard, like, Jack Jones? I mean, he does Banana Pancakes, right? You never heard that song?
No, I'm not familiar with Jack Jones.
Chris Isaak also does Patient of the Night. Really, I've always been a big Chris Isaak fan. An artist I've gotten into because of the soundtrack. It's like Janet Klein, who does Miss Langtry's Lament. You said you like the song that Miss Langtry does, right?
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah, her own music is exactly that style. Doesn't change.
Yeah, it's the most modern sounding thing on the soundtrack, I feel.
Really? Oh. Go listen to Janet Klein. Sounds like she's straight out of the 40s.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, it's doing the kind of 2010s ukulele hipster girl thing, but it's like very good. It's a very good version of that.
A is for the apple that he gave to me, but I found a worm inside. B is for the lover that I called to him before he left my side.
C.W. Stone King does a couple of songs on here. Do you C.W. Stone King fan at all?
No. You'll have to send me some links one of these days because like I say, I am woefully unaware.
Oh my god, yeah. Really good blues artist. Do you have a favorite song or some favorite songs on this? I know it's hard to pick from all of them, but do you have any favorite songs on the soundtrack?
To me, that's easy. I would say my favorite piece on here by far is track 1, Prelude. That instrumental, I think, is just amazing.
Yeah?
Followed closely by Pottsfield CM. The Pottsfield song is my number 2. I think that's great. Let's see, there's a short instrumental on here called Off to Bed that I've always been really fond of. Oh, yeah, also 2 different versions of Potatoes and Molasses, one of which seems to be a French language art song arrangement of Potatoes and Molasses, which is a lot of fun.
I believe it's Latin.
Latin?
I guess I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Latin.
Huh. One of those romancy languages. Yeah.
Potatoes and molasses.
Yeah, which is used for comedic effect, sort of, but in kind of a dark moment, which is interesting. Oh, also, The Highwayman is quite good.
Oh, so good. I'm the highwayman.
Yeah, I love the scene that's from, too.
Oh, yeah. No, that whole bar scene with all the little character tropes, so fun.
It makes me want to go to bars and randomly announce myself to people like that.
We should, yeah. So, yeah, who are you? Like, yeah, announce your character.
I'm the gas station pump fella. Oh, you're the what? I'm the gas station pump fella.
And who might you be?
Oh, and also the courting song, which I think is pretty sure is in like the same scene.
Yup, yeah, it's like that one's super fun.
Yeah.
Write a loving letter, boy, that swoops and sweeps and curls. Calligraphers are just the thing to help you win your girl. Then you'll need to dress up smart. The tailor's here by chance. You'll stitch your trousers, hold your belt, and find culture of friends.
Another example of just how weird the humor is in this show. That song is just so fucking odd.
So funny.
But hilarious.
Yeah.
And then there's like Endicott Manor, a string instrumental, basically just like a straight up 18th century string quartet kind of piece. Some classical music in here too.
Yeah, fits the mood when they're in Endicott Manor, it's very of that time.
Also deserving an honorable mention, the song that the frogs sing on that steamship. There's some jazz in here. There's some folk influence stuff, more like contemporary folk kind of stuff.
They do a couple of fun modern songs that they play during the flashbacks to, I don't know when this takes place. I would guess the 80s.
Seems like it. It seems like it's the 80s because they have like tapes and stuff like that, and it has kind of a Stranger Things sort of 80s nostalgia thing going on with it.
Yeah, I thought maybe 70s, but probably 80s. Yeah, they do the song The Fight Is Over and Tiny Star. Stand out on the whole record is comparatively modern. They sound like 70s or 80s songs.
I was gonna say the little piano piece that plays at the end of every episode, that is apparently the very first piece of music that the Blasting Company submitted to Patrick McHale for consideration, and he just went ahead and stuck that right at the ending credits. There's just something they sent him real quick to give him a little taste of what the sound could be like.
Well, yeah, that's an incredible closing track. I would say it'd be hard for me to pick my favorite song on there. Probably Can't You See I'm Lonely.
Interesting.
That might be my favorite song on the whole record. But man, again, every single track stands out. But I mean, obviously, Patient of the Night, Into the Unknown are super good. Like you said, Miss Langtry's Lament, super, super fun. That one gets me. The Highwayman gets me every time. The courting song, Over the Garden Wall, which the frogs sing. Huge fan of Send Me a Peach. What do you think of that one?
I never dreamed that there'd come a day when I'd find myself far from your arms.
Yeah, no, it's cool. That one's classy. Actually, I was listening to that one earlier today, I'm pretty sure. That's like some finger-snapping Frank Sinatra type shit.
Very, very sweet song. Yeah, Old North Wind. That one bops. Bops to the east, bops to the west. Old North, bops to the north, I guess. That one's super good. Mark Bodner's voice is incredible in that fucking song. Again, The Fight Is Over really stands out. I love that one. Old Black Train. Old Black Train, I would say, like, is a close second favorite, probably. I'd have a hard time between that one. They do a cover of C.W. Stone King also does a cover of Shine On Harvest Moon. It's really hard sometimes when covers become your favorites to me, because sometimes I really like a version already. But this is probably really has become my favorite version of Shine On Harvest Moon.
There's nothing wrong with preferring a cover version to the original song. I mean, how else would I enjoy any of Bob Dylan's music? Certainly by not listening to the originals.
Okay.
Yeah, so, if I were to give the soundtrack itself a rating of Disembodied Human Skulls, that would be a fucking 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. What do you think of the Beast?
The character?
Yeah, the character, the Beast.
It's cool. It's very menacing.
Such a cool design.
Yeah.
Have you ever paused it at the exact moment when the lantern flashes on him? Probably in the last episode or so.
No, I never did that. Is it super freaky?
Yeah. Oh man. So you always see him. He's just a shadow, this huge, tall shadow with big glowing eyes, and he's got like antlers. And there's like a brief second where the lantern gets shined on him, and if you pause it, you can see him all lit up, and he's just like covered in like these moaning, agitated faces throughout his whole body.
Yeah, it's a very menacing antagonist for a kid's show.
Oh, it's sick. And it's just, I love the intenseness throughout the whole show of who's the Beast and like, watch out, the Beast is out. Oh, I didn't even mention that song, but oh man, I hate that it's so short, but like the song, the Beast is out there. But the show is a very happy ending, which is nice.
Definitely dips its toes into some darker territory, but it doesn't leave you cold. It still gives you the kid show happy ending.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, the woodsman gets his daughter back. Beatrice turns back, her and her family turn back into human, and they're all back together. That was the only thing that, like, I guess, what's the term they use? Shipping. I was definitely shipping Wirt and Beatrice throughout the whole show. And while it wouldn't make any sense for them to end up together romantically, I wanted it really bad. But I'm also very happy he got to listen to his cassettes and hang out with Sarah.
Very touching stuff. Very deserving of the Emmy that it won. Some of the best kids media I've ever seen, if not the best.
Do you have a favorite villain?
I don't know, probably just the Beast, because I'm into the spectacle of it all. Yeah, I'm generally a lot more into the protagonists, oddly enough, because I'm usually very pro-villain in anything I'm watching. But in this one, I'm actually into the protagonists and wanting them to prevail. Maybe scratch that. I might have to say Auntie Whispers, just as far as the most interesting antagonist.
Sickening. Yeah, they spend the whole show building her up as this someone who's there to help, and then she just ends up being the worst.
Yeah, again, just very freaking creepy, man.
More themes of betrayal and choosing others over yourself.
Would it be in the best interests of the show, do you think, for there to be more Over the Garden Wall? Like, would you support more episodes, a movie, anything like that, or do you think that it should just stay as it is? Preserved in amber in its current state of perfection.
Yeah, preserved in amber. It's perfect. It starts and ends, and it accomplishes everything it needs to accomplish. I'm interested now. I'll probably see if I can check out some of those comics if there's other little in-between adventures. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more of that, but I don't think you could do that as a series to come back to the middle of a series that already has an end. There wouldn't be any interest in like seeing what happens to the characters when they're in the normal world. I wouldn't have a ton of interest in that. I guess if anything, an episode or a short or something like that of them actually going into the unknown at the end, or going to Pottsfield or something like that when they're old or something, but I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Just leave it as is. Some things are better well left alone, Bryce. So, Do you have any more pressing things to say about the show as a whole?
No, just go check it out. It's, again, if you're into anything, Halloween, autumn time, a little horror, spooky, dark, go check this out. Check it out often. If Patrick Mahal's working on anything currently or in the future?
I feel like he's like retired or something. Let me check out real quick here. So, he seems to still be somewhat connected to Cartoon Network in some fashion, because in last year he did a little show with Pendleton Ward, the Adventure Time guy. He did a special with him called The Elephant, which I haven't seen. It looks like he's trying to get a live-action puppetry feature film made, but studios haven't picked it up yet, so he's kind of just here and there, floating around.
Well, yeah, more than I'd be interested in anything more Over the Garden Wall. I'd be interested in just seeing what else he could do, what else he could create. That would be interesting to me. I hope he goes on to create something equally as good or better.
Indeed. He's like a band that I anticipate what his next album is going to be. If it's a show, if it's like a full show. Not necessarily trying to check out every little short special that he co-produces or whatever, but if he does another show, then I'd be very interested in checking that out.
Yeah, if he did anything else even vaguely in the same vein as this, I'd be interested in it. Do you think there's any good Halloween costumes in here? Would you dress up as any of these characters for Halloween, Nathan?
I don't know, maybe the pumpkin guys. No one that I look at and immediately think, oh, I have to look like that guy. Maybe I could dress up as Wirt.
I've seen a lot of great Wirt costumes. I've seen a lot of great Wirt and Greg costumes.
Yeah.
If you could accomplish a Beast costume, that'd be cool. Yeah, being one of the Pottsfield pumpkin guys, that'd be awesome. I've seen a lot of great pumpkin-headed costumes.
Well, maybe I could try one of those this year. Oh, God, excuse me. Week's catching up to me. Yes, but having said all that, Over the Garden Wall is a beautiful, whimsical, very lovingly made ode to, if not Halloween specifically, just all things spooky. Very much has a place in both of our hearts. It's very much a part of the Calling All Creeps vision. But definitely check it out. Do you have any more remarks that you want to make about the show, Bryce?
No, yeah, that's about it, man. Check it out. Thank you for listening. Check us out on social media, Calling All Creeps podcast. Check out the October Society. Look forward to that new Witchbones release if you're into goth music at all. We've got more music we're working on, more Calling All Creeps, the band, another dark wave project, and just check out all the things, stay updated with the October Society. We're going to be doing a lot of things in the future here, and so stay up to date. We look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, bad dreams.
Bye, thanks for listening.
Spirits in a